Thank you very much indeed. Let me acknowledge the presence of His Excellency the Prime Cabinet Secretary of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi. Let me also recognize the President of the African Development Bank Group, my friend for a long time, Dr. Adesina. Great to see you in Kenya and to remember your home, your second home. Your Excellencies and fellow governors, distinguished guests, it is indeed amazing that the week has moved very fast. I think the week of an annual meeting is fairly too fast. I don't know how we can slow it, because I didn't realize that the week will end, but it has come to an end. It was fast because it was really congested or concentrated with so many activities and so many areas to cover. And so we were not very conscious about time. We were conscious about the issues that we were dealing with. Let me register my profound appreciation for the active participation of the last 1 week of the 2024 annual meetings of the African Development Bank Group. You came and participated as key stakeholders because you support and strongly believe in African Development Bank and Africa at large. So I thank you for your presence and the roles you played during these crucial meetings, with no doubt, are going to be very impactful. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, we are in an era of multiple and persistent shocks. These challenges are also immense, and they cover a lot of perhaps diverse areas in the African region. But it's also an era of hope, because where there is a crisis, we should make sure that we don't let the crisis pass without taking advantage of that crisis. Where there is crisis, there must be some opportunities. We therefore call for stronger African Development Bank Group that can work with us and address our development challenges for a better future. In a world of uncertainty, it is more important for us to have the mind, assume the vision, shoulder the responsibility, and even play the role that come along with our status as major beneficiaries of the African Development Bank. The theme, Africa's transformation, the African Development Bank's role, and the reform of the global financial architecture has been well executed with ideas and action points. We need to implement the roadmap as we go along. The communique of the 59th annual meetings of the Board of Governors of the African Development Bank Group with the African Development Bank and the 50th annual meetings of the Board of Governors of the African Development Fund, which we adopted today, clearly outlines the pressing development imperatives of Africa's steadfast commitment to transformational progress. We all acknowledge the critical and urgent need to reform the global financial architecture. The reforms to strengthen the roles of the regional multilateral development banks and to build capacity to enable fit for purpose as well as flexibility with reliable, effective financial instruments that can adapt to the changing circumstances. Our strong support goes to rechanneling of the special drawing rights, SDRs, to Africa through African Development Bank, and this will signal capacity and capability of the bank. The board's approval for the general callable capital increase will protect the African Development Bank's AAA rating, which will enable the bank to maintain its rating trajectory while ensuring that it has sufficient buffer to mitigate potential external shocks. The approval will also preserve the African Development Bank's position as a strategic lender and the premier development finance institution in Africa. But specifically, the recommendations by the governors that African Development Bank should seek an independent route for a standalone AAA rating is quite encouraging and coming from the governors. I therefore convey my appreciation to my fellow governors for the efforts deployed towards the achievement of this noble and desirable outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I humbly exit the role of the chairperson of the boards of governors of the African Development Bank Group. Allow me to extend my sincere appreciation to you, African Development Bank Group President, honorable governors, and bank senior management, and the government of Kenya officials for your unwavering support to my role as the chair over the last 1 year, which has strengthened the business of our bank. In particular, the role of the Secretary General, Professor Vincent Nemehere, was critical in walking me the path of hosting the annual meetings. It is not easy, as you can see, the infrastructure around us. It's not easy, as you can see, that Nairobi is a favorite place. That's why we ended up having 8,300 participants. As of yesterday, when we were trying to connect even to the Wi-Fi, I was told by the providers that 11,400 people were connected at the same time. It was becoming quite challenging in terms of capacity, but we managed. So you can see the diversity of it all. Thank you. As we conclude the annual meetings in Kenya today, I'm happy to note that Honorable Governor for Cote d'Ivoire, who is here, is ready to take the baton, which I'm also ready and honored to pass on. I wish the governor all the best and avail myself for consultations when required. So as you plan your departures, guests and friends to your various destinations, we hope you have enjoyed Nairobi. I had promised the president that I will consult the gods to make sure that the rains don't come until after 5. And I think I must have made very short consultations and the responses were swift. The rains didn't come at all except the 1 or 2 days. So we are happy about that. And of course you have enjoyed, that allowed you to enjoy the hospitality, the diverse hospitality of Kenya, and sample diverse culture and also rich offerings, even including our evenings and dancing. And Kenya being one of the leading tourist destinations, you can attest to that the tourists really enjoy themselves if we could manage to enjoy even so retro after work. Otherwise, it's my singular honor at this point to wish you safe travels back home. And again, we meet again in the next annual meetings in Cote d'Ivoire in 2025. But in the intermediate, in the process of between that time and now, we know the commitments that we have made with our bank and the commitments that we need to implement for our bank so that our bank becomes bigger, better, and bolder. So we will continue with those responsibilities to implement the propositions we have agreed in this year's annual meetings. So for me, it's to say, asante sana, thank you very much, kwaheri when you go, that is goodbye in Swahili, and it's an honor to have you around here, and it was an honor to be your chairman. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask protocol to invite Mr. Lasmel Philippe, the temporary governor for Cote d'Ivoire, to come up for the handover. And protocol, could you please deliver the flag for a handover? Time. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. The handover is made. I can see CS maybe served in the military. He's trying to fold it like the military do. May I use this opportunity, therefore,